CBS News presents Douglas Edwards with up-to-the-minute developments from all parts of the world. Mr. Edwards.
Good evening, everybody.
Olds brings the news. Your local Oldsmobile dealer, the dealer who brings you famous rocket engine Oldsmobiles, presents an up-to-the-minute account of today's headline news, reported by television's foremost news commentator, Douglas Edwards.
And a very good evening, everybody, coast to coast. Good evening, everybody, coast to coast. Douglas Edwards reporting. At Cape Canaveral, a dull thud heard round the world. In Moscow, a startling protest from Nikita Khrushchev. In Atlantic City, the Teamsters get the axe. Those and other stories in just a moment. Tonight, brought to you by Viceroy Cigarettes.
This is the evening edition of CBS News with Walter Cronkite.
Direct from our newsroom in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and Nelson Benton in Tuskegee, Alabama, Dan Rather in Plaquemine, Louisiana, Bernard Kalb in Saigon, Peter Kalischer in Tokyo, and Eric Severide in Washington. Direct from our newsroom in New York, in color, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and Eric Severide in Washington, Nelson Benton in Bethpage, New York, Bruce Morton in Houston, Texas, Ed Rabel in Houston, Ike Pappas in Denver, Colorado, Dan Rather in Washington, Stephen Rowan in Washington, and Bert Quint in Swai Ring, Cambodia.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite and Eric Severide in Washington, Jeff Williams in Chicago, Peter Kalischer in Paris, Bob Schieffer in Hartford, Connecticut, Ed Rabel in Jerusalem, and a special Campaign 72 report on the issues today where the candidates stand on defense. From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. And in Washington, Leslie Stahl, Bob Schieffer, Barry Seraphin, Daniel Shore, Tom Fenton in the Sinai, John Sheehan in Cairo, Bert Quint in Addis Ababa, Ed Rabel in Washington, North Carolina, and Chris Kelly in Philadelphia. This is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. From around the world and from our headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. From around the world and from CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. The United States has come out full for Britain in the Falkland Islands crisis. President Reagan has imposed military and economic sanctions against Argentina and has offered virtually unlimited materiel support to the British. Our coverage begins with Bill Plant at the White House. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening.
54 negotiating days until the summit. A satellite launched from a plane, and the District of Columbia loses its showcase drug war. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening.
Secretary Baker meets face-to-face with the Palestinians. In Los Angeles, more claims of police brutality. And charges that a new plan to stop the measles epidemic hurts more than it helps. This is the CBS Evening News. Connie Chung sitting in tonight for Dan Rather.
Congressional investigation launched into whether the Reagan-Bush campaign intentionally delayed release of American hostages. Does Saddam Hussein still have biological weapons? And anti-abortion demonstrators. Police move in. This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. CBS News breaks the story. President Bush has the U.S. military set to intercept Scud missiles headed for Iran. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening.
Relentless rain, soggy levees, and swollen rivers. It's a formula for destruction, taking the Midwest to the breaking point.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
A strong Senate attack on President Clinton's Bosnia policy as a new wave of ethnic cleansing begins.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening.
The search for answers in the crash of Korean Air Flight 801. On the scene in Guam, the last of lucky survivors are pulled from the wreckage. Tonight, you will hear from one of them as crash investigators lean toward pilot error.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening.
Breakout on Wall Street. Buyers blast the Dow out of the doldrums and into record high territory on good economic news.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening.
Who wants to see a millionaire? Tonight, a battle of media titans knocks the ABC television network out of millions of homes.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Tonight's headlines: powerful snow and ice storm affects millions. Feds surprisingly say no to United Airlines bailout. Iraq accuses inspectors of provoking war. Also tonight, how drug companies can target you with misleading ads while federal regulators do nothing.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Tonight, oil prices heading for a record. Gasoline higher by the day. What's driving up petroleum prices and how high will they go?
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening.
Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer. It is an upset. Tom DeLay's one-time deputy loses and a self-proclaimed reformer wins the House Republican leader's post. We'll start there tonight, then we'll have these stories.
State of the Heartland, how the skyrocketing cost of energy is forcing more and more people to demand help this winter. I'm Lee Cowan.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Correct. Tonight, it was the first front in the war on terror. And in Afghanistan now, the Taliban are back with a vengeance. Lara Logan has an unprecedented encounter with Al-Qaeda's best friends.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you tonight. I'm Katie Couric. Tonight, an apology from the family of the Virginia Tech gunman. In a statement, they write about feeling hopeless, helpless, and lost after the attack and say they never saw it coming.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Hello, everyone. Tonight, massacre at the mall. A gunman opens fire on holiday shoppers in Omaha. We'll have the very latest. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, a break for Americans in danger of losing their homes to foreclosure. Lenders agreed to freeze the interest rates on some subprime mortgages.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, the race for the White House, Barack Obama widens his lead over John McCain. In fact, he's nearly doubled it since their first debate. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, the battle over the bailout continues. Barack Obama and John McCain return to Washington as the Senate votes on a revised rescue package for the financial industry.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. We're beginning tonight with two important. Tonight, heavy traffic in the showrooms. Sales reports out today show the Cash for Clunkers program gave U.S. automakers a much-needed jump start. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, a scare in the air.
I hit my head on the light above and it broke the light out and was showered in glass.
Dozens are injured when a Continental Airlines flight from Rio hits severe turbulence.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone.
Tonight, as America honors its war dead, President Obama completes an overhaul of his national security team. I'm Harry Smith. Also tonight, where she stops, nobody knows. Sarah Palin hops on the bus and leaves the country guessing about where she's headed.
This is the CBS Evening News.
Tonight, can the U.S. head off a new recession? The chairman of the Fed says it's up to Congress. Congress says it's up to him.
Given the political realities, Mr. Chairman, I'm afraid the Fed is the only game in town.
Anthony Mason on the threats to the recovery. Desperate measures for ranchers and farmers struggling with the drought of 2012. Anna Werner looks at what will happen to food prices.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Tonight, flights to nowhere.
I'm disgusted with it, really.
Sabotage at a control center. How did one man halt traffic at some of America's busiest airports? Jeff Pegues and Dean Reynolds report. Holly Williams reports from the border where thousands of fighters are crossing to join ISIS.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
An ISIS hit list names American servicemen and women. The Pentagon asked police to protect them. Also tonight, that alleged gang rape at UVA. The police announced the findings of their investigation.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
If it's Tuesday, it's Beat the Press.
I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. You're a sleaze because you know the facts, and you know the facts well.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Today, Donald Trump.
After 9 years behind bars.
Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible.
O.J. Simpson is going free.
This is the CBS Evening News.
And this is our Western edition. Good evening, I'm Anthony Mason. Wall Street celebrates tax cuts.
A giant present for Christmas.
The implications of a late, last-minute deal and how where you live could determine how much you pay.
This is the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor.
And good evening.
I'm heartbroken. I'm grief-stricken.
Devastating floodwaters in Maryland and a Memorial Day search for a missing National Guardsman.
This is the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor.
And good evening. Jeff is off tonight. I'm Bianca Goladrigo.
On this Monday night, the death toll is rising rapidly from an erupting volcano in Central America and the breakthrough treatment for breast cancer that saved this woman's life. But first, a look at tonight's headlines in 60 seconds.
A volcanic eruption from Guatemala's Fuego volcano killed dozens of people on Sunday.
Rescuers are working to pull people from the rubble.
This is our Western edition. Good evening.
On the CBS Evening News this Tuesday, breaking news in the 737 MAX investigation. CBS News has obtained audio of angry pilots as they confronted Boeing after a deadly crash, but before a second one.
The American Airlines Pilots Union grilled Boeing about the plane's safety.
We flat out deserve to know what is on our airplanes.
Tonight, the president denies his tweets are racist, even as he steps up his attacks on 4 congresswomen of color.
If you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
And the women fire back.
He's launching a blatantly racist attack.
This is the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell.
Good evening. Breaking news tonight, the search for survivors. A volcano erupts, trapping tourists. At least 5 dead, dozens more hurt or missing. Tonight, the American newlyweds who barely escaped.
This is the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell, reporting from the nation's capital.
Tonight, the battle over Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago documents, as the FBI says it's finished examining the top secret material, what it means. The new details tonight, CBS's Robert Costa reports on the concern U.S. spies may have been compromised because of what's in those documents.
This is the CBS Evening News with Norah O'Donnell, reporting from the nation's capital.
Tonight, the new questions after U.S. fighter jets shoot down 3 high-flying objects in 3 days. Here are tonight's top headlines. The new images of the Chinese spy balloon as the White House assembles a UFO task force to find out what the other objects are.
I don't think the American people need to worry about aliens with respect to these craft.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us as we begin a new week together. Bracing for mudslides, the concern tonight as a battered Southern California prepares for its first rainfall in months.
My brother just lost his home over in the Altadena fire, and now I'm like, oh my God, now it's my turn.
Good evening, I'm Norah O'Donnell, and thank you for joining us.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
It was an earthquake today in the world of artificial intelligence.
A break in the Brown University shooting. Police issue an arrest warrant and investigate a possible link to the fatal shooting of an MIT professor.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
We begin.
Good to be with you. I'm Tony Dokoupil. The breaking news right now. Venezuela in a state of emergency tonight. The police launching a national manhunt for anyone who supported the U.S. capture of dictator Nicolas Maduro.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony Dokoupil.
Good evening.